you by SafetyFM.
She's a queen with a forced 5 horsepower, kicking up dust at the seam. She's a story mama told you not to touch, but you can shake your curiosity. She's too hot to handle.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on SafetyFM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Thursday, October the 2nd of 2025, day 275th of the year, and only 90 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the SafetyFM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as SafetyFM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Yep, hanging out with the people over there at Radio Big, because that's kind of what we do as we hang out here and then go into hour 2 and 3 over there, going through all the gamut of stuff, no doubt whatsoever, as we are talking. Okay, so let's start going down the path and talking about some of the stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's just kind of how it goes. That is the layout of the land. So let's start talking. Our show consists of safety in the news, and safety. Simple process in doing so in regards to what we have going on. If you want to interact with the show, easy to do so. Callinradio.com. Callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options in regards to what we have going on. No doubt about that. And then we run. Yep, that's it. We run. We run with everything going on. Okay, so that's it. That's what we do. And then we go through the whole concept. We bring in some people from Feature Story News. They'll come in, take over, do their thing, talk about what's going on, because they're the professional broadcasters. I just get to hang out here and, pretend that I know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, because that happens. And that's it. That is kind of how our show lays out of the land and then goes from there. Outside of that, that's, I don't know. We just kind of go with the news stuff as it's happening in real time, opposed to waiting for it to all be over and then going, oh, I don't know where the time went. Okay, so with that being said, why don't we start talking right away about what the hell was trending in the overnight?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends notable and noteworthy, an exercise company intends to make a comeback. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Also, Diddy's bid for A retrial gets denied, and Keith Urban drops a hint about his split with Nicole Kidman. More about that as we get into show business, because why would we not do that? And also, Jimmy Kimmel details the moment he found out that he was getting pulled off the air. We'll talk about that as we get into casting calls. And then an earthquake creates chaos for Meghan's father. We'll talk about that as we get into the Royals. So, that's it. That's the whole gamut of stuff to consider and to talk about. So if you're good to go, I'm good to go. We'll bring in my friends from Feature Story News, and they will give us the plethora of things to discuss. So I think we should go ahead and move forward and prosper. So with that being said, let's get into some Feature Story News action, because it is about that time to do so. Yeah, to do so. Throw it out there.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News, I'm Rebecca Bunton in Mumbai. Israel's Navy has intercepted boats carrying aid to Gaza and detained activists on board, including Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg. The White House says mass layoffs of US federal workers will begin in 2 days amid a government shutdown. The shutdown began on Wednesday and is the first in almost 7 years after members of Congress failed to agree a last-ditch funding deal. Democrats want guarantees on healthcare funding. Vice President J.D. Vance at a press briefing accused the Democrats of playing a political game.
We're going to have to make things work. And that means that we're going to have to triage some certain things. That means certain people are going to have to get laid off. And we're going to try to make sure that the American people suffer as little as possible from this shutdown. But we haven't made any final decisions about what we're going to do with certain workers. What we're saying is that we might have to take extraordinary steps, especially the longer this goes on. We're going to have to take extraordinary measures to ensure the people's government operates, again, not perfectly, because it's not going to operate perfectly in the midst of a shutdown, but operate as well as it possibly can. And I think that the Democrats, if they're so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government.
The US Supreme Court says Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook can stay on in her job pending oral arguments next year. President Donald Trump has tried to fire her on allegations of mortgage fraud, something she has denied. Tony Waterman has more.
The order from the Supreme Court was to the point. 2 sentences deferring a ruling in the case until oral arguments are heard in January. Cook's lawyers claim the president is trying to fire her without due process and amid attempts to reshape the central bank. Trump has repeatedly criticized the Fed for not cutting interest rates fast enough, while the conservative majority court has often sided with the White House on other firings. It has signaled the central bank may be different. Tony Waterman, Washington.
Jane Goodall, the groundbreaking primatologist who changed the way the world understands chimpanzees and inspired generations of conservationists, has died at the age of 91. Her institute confirmed she passed away while on a speaking tour in Los Angeles. Ira Spitzer has more.
Born in London in 1934, Jane Goodall became a global icon in the 1960s after her close observations of chimpanzees in Tanzania revealed that the animals used tools, hunted in groups, and displayed complex social bonds, discoveries that helped science redefine what it meant to be human. Goodall's vivid storytelling and television appearances made her a household name, while her work helped open doors for women in science and inspired worldwide conservation efforts. She went on to found the Jane Goodall Institute, launch youth programs in more than 100 countries, and serve as a UN messenger for peace.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. Denmark has warned that a strong response is needed amid accusations that Russia is conducting a hybrid war against members of the European Union. European leaders gathered in Copenhagen to discuss the bloc's shared security needs following several drone incursions over recent weeks. William Denslow reports from the Danish capital.
Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says that Europe is facing its most difficult and dangerous situation since the Second World War. The gathering of European leaders here in the Danish capital comes following several weeks where a number of drone airspace violations, incursions have been reported across several EU member states. Moscow has denied any responsibility, but Mette Frederiksen says what is needed is a unified response from EU member states in response to what she calls a hybrid war.
If you look at Russia and hybrid war from a European perspective instead of from your own national perspective, then I think everybody has to be on the same page, that we have to rearm all of us.
European leaders have discussed concrete ways to bolster Europe's defensive needs. Included in those conversations, the Eastern Flank Watch, how to protect Europe's borders with Russia and Belarus at land, sea and in the skies.
The main news again. The White House says mass layoffs of US federal workers will begin in 2 days amid a government shutdown. Israel's Navy has intercepted boats carrying aid to Gaza and detained activists on board, including Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg. Jane Goodall, the groundbreaking primatologist who changed the way the world understands chimpanzees and inspired generations of conservationists, has died at the age of 91. And that is the latest feature story news. Rebecca Bunden reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home title locks put a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/SafetyFM today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/SafetyFM. Ladderlife.com/SafetyFM.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference?
From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of SafetyFM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit SafetyFM.com to get your copy now.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh.
He's the man. It's awesome, funny, random, doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Jay Allen in the morning on Radio Big.
Oh, you know you have to love it when you double pump those buttons and don't know exactly what to do. It happens, I guess, because I started having a cough fit right at the moment that I pressed the button for the microphone to go back on. So there you go. Anyway, so 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out doing our thing. That is for sure. So with that being said, why don't we start going down the multiverse of stuff, because there is a plethora of things to talk about. So let's start getting into it right away, because what else would we be doing? So here you go. Let's go through the breakdown. The latest crackdown on the Kim regime in North Korea is on a woman suspected of getting illicit breast implants. Yep, Kim Jong-un Jr. has ordered state agents to bust people into getting the procedure done, calling the practice unsocialist. And one of the recent doctors had admitted that using silicone smuggled into from China on two women, all three of them who were sentenced to hard labor. The state argued women living with a socialist system have been corrupted by the customs and committed by rotten capitalist acts. Doctors beware. The regime is reportedly sending undercover agents posing as potential customers to try to bust would-be plastic surgeons who would perform the procedures. The official line is that the suspects would be facing charges of anti-socialist behavior. This is according to Metro. Anti-socialist behavior. Well, I guess that's kind of a interesting terminology in regards to tying that all together. What do you think here? I mean, it gets stranger and stranger the more we talk about it. Seriously.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, take a listen to this one. A tow truck operator in Denver area has pleaded guilty and has been sentenced in connection of months-long scheme to steal and resell unoccupied vehicles. The crook, 34-year-old Brian Chacon, would use his truck to tow and steal unoccupied vehicles before creating forged documents to resell them. The district attorney is trying the case and can prove 48 such incidents and believes that Chacon was behind 29 of the thefts. Chacon has taken a plea agreement that will send him to prison for 16-year sentence. As a result of the investigation, Chacon may also be charged with 5 counts of child sexual abuse material, but those charges were dropped as part of the plea deal. This is according to Denver 7. Yeah, according to Denver 7, this would be a part of the deal that would drop part of it. I don't understand how you drop that part. Out of all parts to drop, that would be the part to drop. Okay, so there you go. A lot of interesting stuff going on for sure. No doubt about that one. Do we want it? Do we want to do this? I think we can. I mean, we can do it. let's see what happens here, because, it's always it's one of those things that always happens that we never know how this is going to go, because, live shows work this way. So let's take a listen to this one together.
Tow truck driver in Castle Rock accused of using his tow truck to steal cars now just found out that they will be spending 16 years in prison. Investigators say the auto theft scheme was happening all across the metro area.
Well, that's interesting.
Ryan Chacon owns Eagle Wing Towing in Aurora. Investigators say he used his tow truck to steal cars, then sold them. They say that he stole at least 48 cars, but
That's
that number
crazy.
could be even higher.
So there you go. That's the news story coming from Denver 7 directly. So there you go. I mean, how do you steal that many cars? It's kind of an interesting one. So anyways, take a listen to this. Fitness equipment company Peloton is launching a revamped offering of products and services as it seeks to return to its recent former glory. The company market cap surged at 160 a share in late 2020 during the COVID I think they mean COVID era stay-at-home orders. But the series of reports of injuries caused by the machines and the return of relative normalcy caused the price to plummet. It's now worth about $9. Now Peloton has launched a commercial line of bikes, treadmills, and rowing machines with eye of gym sales. In addition to the revamped standard offering powered by AI, of course, the company's CEO estimates that the company will do 60% of annual sales during the upcoming holiday gifting season. This is according to CNBC. So let's kind of go through some of this stuff. So the Peloton thing, it was all the rage during COVID. Let's just not lie here. But wasn't it in whatever that sequel show is called for Sex and the City? Didn't Mr. Big die because of the Peloton thing, and then they lost their shit because of it? I mean, don't quote me 100% there. But yeah, I think that's what happened. Then people started losing, and then Peloton was disappointed that HBO decided to go down that route. It was a hot mess.
We at SafetyFM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, with Oktoberfest being in full swing in Munich, police temporarily shut down the event on Wednesday following the explosion and fire of a nearby residential building. Around 5 a.m. local time, loud bangs came from the nearby building in what authorities now believe there was a result of arson stemming from a family dispute. Once the fire was extinguished, the police found multiple homemade explosive devices and had not gone off. Munich's mayor called the situation a verified bomb threat. Despite the chaos, organizers allowed the event to reopen on Wednesday evening and believe that it has been contained. This is according to CBS News. CBS News is claiming this one. So some stuff to think about as we are hanging out. No doubt about that. Also in the winner is Chuck, a.k.a. Bear, 32. Yeah, despite the odds stacked against him due to a broken jaw. I'm sorry, I said Chuck. I meant Chunk. Chunk racked up the most votes, 96,362, to be crowned this year's Fat Bear Week champion. Landing Grazer's, a.k.a. Bear 128's 2-year winning streak. Bear 656 came in second with 63,729 votes. Catamount National Park notes that no matter which bear gets the most votes in the Fat Bear Week competition, they're all winners. This is according to the New York Times. Let's see. Fat Bear Week. What a deal. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of always a weird time when you start calling stuff out like that, but it is one of those strange things for sure.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's start talking real quick. In case you have not heard, Dr. Jane Goodall has died. She passed away of natural causes on Wednesday morning in California while on a speaking tour. According to the post from Jane Goodall Institute, Goodall was world-renowned for primatologist and chimpanzee expert. She was 91 at the time of her passing. So there you go. Some other information. Let's talk real quick about some stuff related to numbers. The Dow went up 43 points to close at 46,441 on Wednesday. The S&P increased by 22 points to close at 6,711, and the Nasdaq went up by 95 points to close at 22,755. West Texas Intermediate closed at $62 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $65 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.16 on Wednesday. Bitcoin gained on the day as well, nearly up 2.8% and trading around 117,000.2. So there you go. And then Friday night's Mega Million drawing, are you ready for this? Will be for a $520 million jackpot or a $240 million cash payout. So however you want to play it. That's the thing. I always kind of wonder about that. So you have like a 20-year option. Is that what it is? But you're going, if you do it in a full cash payout, you're taking less than half before you get to the taxes piece. I mean, that's a lot of money to give up to be able to take it all in one chunk. But then you have to kind of come to the realization too that you expect that 20-year payout, you're gonna they're still gonna be able to be around to pay you out when it's all said and done. I'm just saying some stuff to think about. That's for sure. Anyways, let's get into show business news.
Because some people are going to want to care about that.
Okay, Diddy was denied. Judge Aaron denied Sean Combs' defense team appeal and request for a new trial, meaning that sentencing will still take place on Friday. Combs faces up to 2 decades behind bars on 2 prostitution-related charges, this is according to People magazine. So what do you think? I mean, that's a long time. And I know there's some other things that are involved here, but that's not what he's being sentenced for. So that'll be the interesting thing tomorrow. Because we're going to talk about, we won't talk about it tomorrow because it'll be way too early by the time that we start this thing off. But the sentencing will for sure will be something that we'll cross over on Monday in regards to talking about some of this stuff. Anyway, take a listen to this. Some assumptions here. Keith Urban changed up some lyrics in his song, The Fighter, a song that he wrote about the estranged wife, Nicole Kidman. During a recent performance in Utah, the new lyric included the name of Urban's guitar player, Maggie Baugh. The original line, when they're trying, when they're trying to get you, baby, I'll be the fighter, was sung as when they're trying to get Maggie, I'll be your guitar player. Fans are now speculating that if it has anything to do with the split. Who, Maggie or the guitar player? I mean, I'm so confused. So there you go. Some interesting stuff. Anyways, an arrest warrant has been issued for Tyrese Gibson after his dogs allegedly killed the neighbor's pup. Harrison Parker, one of Gibson's neighbors, called 911 after he found his Cavalier King Charles Spaniel dead in the driveway. He claims that Gibson, 4 Cane Corsos, were running loose just minutes earlier. Prior to the incident, Gibson's dogs were reported running loose on 5 occasions. A rep for Gibson said the dogs are no longer in the home and that the actor is cooperating with authorities. This is according to Entertainment Weekly. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. There is no doubt about that. Anyway, celebs, they're just like us. Despite being an A-lister, George Clooney still drives his kids to school every day. I have normalcy, I drive my kids to school every morning, he told the Daily Mail. For being a famous actor, Clooney says he tries to keep his kids away from the experience right now, adding, I don't want them to think that we're too pampered. This is according to the Daily News. So, there you go. Some stuff to think about, for sure. Anyways, take a listen to this one. Ralph Lauren is opening a Polo bar in London. Yeah, the eatery will launch in 2028, according to the fashion house. Lauren has a Polo bar in Manhattan. Ralph is in Paris, and Paris RL in Chicago, and 40 Ralph's coffee locations around the world. This is according to Page 6. I didn't even know this. Like, they have all that stuff? Interesting to know. Anyways, take a listen to this one. We talked briefly about this yesterday. But we have to talk about it some more because it's getting a
lot more backlash.
Fans hoping to hear Lionel Richie sing a few songs in a recent event that left disappointed after he spoke about his new book for an hour. Once he came in, it was clear that the event was not what many assumed it would be. Those in the 1,500-person auditorium started to jeer and heckle Richie. At one point, he told a story about being robbed and someone called back, "So were we." 1 of 10 details, page 6. In defense of Richie, he did tell the crowd, most that dropped about $600 a ticket, that if you're looking for a concert, you came to the wrong place. So let's ask the question, because I'm slightly confused here. It's a 1,500-person auditorium. Some people would consider that a potential intimate setting. And then let's just kind of get through this. He does the event. People are expecting him to do some singing. Was this not said prior to? Like, was this not a discussion about what was going on? Like, did you buy a $600 ticket and not know that you were on the verge of going to a book tour conversation? Because that's what it sounds like. Okay, just saying. Anyways, in some other news, during a crossover event, Jimmy Kimmel Live in The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel detailed exactly how he found out the show was being pulled off the air. Kimmel says that the call came in about 3 p.m. 2 weeks ago, and we had to take it in the bathroom as it was the only quiet place on the set. He said ABC execs told him that they had decided that the best route is to take the show off the air, and to which he said that it wasn't a good idea. Then there was a vote, and I lost the vote, is what he said. So he put his pants back on, walked out of the office. I called some of the executive producers and said, they're pulling the show off the air, he continued. Kimmel's wife, who is an executive producer of the show, said that he was whiter than Jim Gandolfini when he found out. "I've never coming back to the air," Kimmel said, and he thought that the time was done. This is according to what Deadline had reported. So there you go. Okay, one more and then we're out. A month after becoming Netflix's most popular movie of all time, K-pop Demon Hunters marked the 15th straight week of the streamer's top 10 list. That makes it the longest-running title ever in the English-language films chart. The record was previously held by Red Notice, which charted for 14 weeks. So there you go. If you haven't watched that movie, I'm almost tempted to tell you it might be worth watching. Just saying, just for some of the music.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, some main story time, some things to talk about, some things to take a look at, some things to decide, some things to take a look, take a spin, take a turn, and just truly understand what is going on out there with some of the stuff. So I have a question for you, because this is one of these weird questions that always kind of runs through my mind as we start talking about some of the stuff. When you decide that you want someone to be able to assist you when it comes to the world of safety, when it comes to stuff that you might not be familiar with, how do you go about it? How do you go through the whole planning phase of getting that to work? I asked the question because of the following reason. Some people will go out there and try to determine who is the most popular person that they can find, and then say, hey, that's the person we're going to bring in to talk about safety. Some people will go out there and look for what they call, quote unquote, originators, people that are out there that were originally passing out information and then said, okay, this is the way that we're going to do stuff. Okay, there's that too. Then the other side of the equation, the one that kind of makes you think about stuff. There's the people that are looking for the flavor of the week, the people that are going out there and doing stuff that doesn't change stuff. It might just be renamed or repackaged something different in regards of what's going on. And the reason that I bring all of this up is because I'm always curious on how people look at some of this stuff and how this is determined. And not for a marketing standpoint. I'm always kind of curious on what people are looking for. I bring this up because I was recently looking around at some of the stuff that's available, and I get very confused. There is a program that is being offered, and we'll say lightly that is being offered by a college or a university, that it is a 2-day, 1-2, training that certifies you as the subject matter expert in certain items related to safety. I was also recently looking at a program where would have people come to your location, help you put this program into place, and you had a 5-year agreement on how they were going to roll things out. Don't know how that works either. And listen, I don't know. I have a hard time with the extended point. I have a hard time with the point of how you're an expert in 2 days, because there's so many different aspects on what to do. It's like, am I an expert if I train in martial arts and do the same move 10,000 times? Or am I better if I do 10,000 moves one time? It becomes very convoluted on how you start going about this. And it all boils down to the same thing. All of us, for some extent, we're looking for the bigger, better, quicker deal. And it's not always the best case scenario. I'm not saying you have to bring the originators in that showed you how to interact with some of those portions of the world, but I also have a hard time when somebody's trying to sell me a certificate that in 2 days I become a subject matter expert at. Now, don't get me wrong. I have been to some of these conferences where, quote unquote, you get your little CEUs or you get a little document that says you're a subject matter expert, and I understood absolutely nothing afterwards of the course that I just took, even though I passed it. Because here's the thing that happens most of the times. We take these courses, and it's for memorization purposes. It's enough to remember what exactly was going on during the time that I had to take a test or not even take a test. I remember I went to some conferences where you had a certificate that was kind of tied in together. So you went to this conference, the next conference, and the other, and they kind of tied into a bigger certificate. And I remember getting to the test portion, and it was open book. And I was like, so are we trying to go for a standard higher rate of people passing, or are we really taking the deeper dives into really understanding the material? And that's the thing. What exactly is the goal inside of what's going on with your organization when you're determining what is the need? Because I think you need kind of a great combination of things. It's maybe some people feel good by getting a certificate, like it means something in regards of this piece of paper of a 2-day training you went. And it's most of the time a certificate of completion. It's not even like you're an expert in the stuff. And then you have the other side. You have the people, the people that are out there that want you to commit to X amount of time for a contract before anything can move forward. It gets very confusing. So that's the thing. I want you to think about these things before you make your next move. If you're looking to incorporate this, what's the right path? You have to go to where the organization's at. You can't go somewhere else because, listen, you start trying to recreate that wheel, it becomes a total cluster F for everyone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at SafetyFM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on SafetyFM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to SafetyFM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for SafetyFM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good. On Radio Big.
She's a queen with a forced 5 horsepower, kicking up dust at the seams.
Oh, yes, too hot to handle. That's what she is. Anyways, you are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show as we are doing our thing. Currently 45 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging and banging. Always a good time when you and I get to hang out. No doubt about that one. You know how it goes. This right here, this is Too Hot to Handle by Yellen. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. We would like to thank Yellen for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yep, always a good time as we get to play some different kind of music. That is for sure. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. And click on the section that says Find Help. Once you do that, it will change everything for you. Like, seriously, it will change everything for you. No doubt about that one. I'm telling you. Because it has a way of changing everything inside of the multiverse. It just does. TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms, and click on the section that says Find Help. So there you go. Okay, let's start talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Even smarter smart devices. Yep. Tuesday, Amazon showed off a new development in home security and AI with the launch of an upgraded Ring and Blink cameras. It redefined Alexa Plus voice assistant, and the cameras now feature higher resolution imaging and facial recognition designed to help users quickly identify visitors and spot potential intruders. Ring boss Jamie Sminoff said it's about knowing immediately whether the visitor is someone you know or someone you've never seen before. The Ring camera is available later this year. They will also enable with Alexa Plus, allowing the devices through AI to help make decisions whether the visitor is delivering a package or casing the home for intrusion. The refreshed Echo lineup includes dots and show devices. Now runs on faster chips and integrated with Alexa Plus. Amazon is trying to spur interest in the new Alexa, which has spent years and billions in updating AI and more conversational tone and more personalized interactions. The enhancements aim to make Alexa more useful and profitable while boosting home security. Higher res cameras, so now you can watch your neighbor's cameras watching yourselves. And it seems like, considering it, but I'm probably not going to answer the door no matter who it is. Whether it be someone I know, someone I don't know, somebody who I wish I knew, someone who's dropping off a package, someone who's... I think you kind of get it right now. It's just not something I'm going to answer the door for. Okay, take a listen to this. 2011 nostalgia. Recently, a Reddit user posted questions. What's something that you had in 2011 but don't have now? Here's some of the most nostalgia inducing answers. A landline phone, a headphone jack in my phone, 24-hour Walmart, privacy. Those days are gone forever. DVDs and CDs, a waistline, and a 2011 calendar. How about you? For me, definitely knees that bent. I think that's kind of the way that we would have to go with that one. What else were you thinking? A lot of stuff, I would imagine, for sure, as we are talking about it. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and bring in some John Smalls into our life? Because he gives us the motivation minute. He's a person that always seems to be motivated about stuff. So let's do that right now. Seriously, let's bring some John Smalls in.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Ashley. Mother Teresa said, "It's not how much we do, but how much love we put in the doing. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put in the giving." What a great quote. A great example of this. If I gave you $1,000, that'd be nice. It'd be a bit of a reach for me. I'm not a wealthy dude, but let's say Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos or some other billionaire gave you the same $1,000. It wouldn't much affect them, but it'd still be the same amount in your pocket, right? Do you see how one of those examples is a bit more meaningful, especially if that $1,000 is my last bit of money?
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. When I think of a man of character, my thoughts always turn to my Uncle Ernie. He was not a great man as the world counts greatness. He was, however, a special man. A throwback to an earlier age when the measure of a man was determined by the quality of his character rather than the power of his personality. In truth, he was one of those men who wore well. That is, the longer you knew him, the more you appreciated him. 1 Timothy 3 says, "Now the overseer must be above reproach. He must also have a good reputation with outsiders." Lord Jesus, help us to be men and women of character, that your name may be praised. Your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
The U.S. federal government entered a shutdown after Congress failed to pass a funding bill.
This marks the first such closure in nearly 7 years, affecting non-essential operations nationwide. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are furloughed without pay until resolved. Key services like national parks remain partially open, but maintenance is limited. The impasse stems from disagreements over budget priorities and spending cuts. Liam White reporting.
Afghanistan experienced a nationwide internet blackout imposed by the Taliban for 2 days without prior notice.
The shutdown sparked widespread panic among residents who rely on online services for daily needs. Connectivity has begun to restore gradually across major cities. The Taliban stated the blackout aimed to curb immoral online activities, though no specific details were provided. Human rights groups expressed concern over the impact on free speech and access to information. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Israeli tanks have advanced deeper into Gaza City amid ongoing military operations.
The United Nations has described the humanitarian situation in the territory as cataclysmic, with hospitals overwhelmed by the influx of wounded civilians. Over 1 million residents in Gaza City have been displaced by the fighting, forcing many to flee southward. Aid organizations report severe shortages of food and medical supplies due to restricted access. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Japan has equipped a warship with advanced U.S. missiles capable of striking targets up to 1,000 miles away.
This move is part of a broader effort to enhance defense capabilities in the Pacific region. The deployment coincides with rising tensions among neighboring nations. Military analysts note the missiles will bolster Japan's deterrence posture against potential threats. Training exercises for the crew are scheduled to begin next week. Chris Anderson reporting.
A federal judge issued a sharp rebuke against the Trump administration's targeting of international students for pro-Palestinian activism on campuses.
The ruling highlights violations of free speech protections under the First Amendment. Dozens of students had faced visa revocations or deportations. Court documents reveal evidence of discriminatory practices in the investigations. Advocacy groups hailed the decision as a victory for academic freedom. The administration plans to appeal the findings to higher courts. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Protesters at an Illinois ICE facility now face federal charges following clashes with agents.
One individual allegedly
allegedly threatened to kill an officer during the demonstration. The incident involved attempts to block detainee transports from the site. Authorities arrested 4 participants, citing obstruction and assault charges. The protest highlighted concerns over immigration detention conditions. Court dates for the accused are set for next month. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, so there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2016, Kim Kardashian is robbed at gunpoint. The thieves broke into her hotel room in Paris, tied her up, and put her in the bathtub. Over $10 million worth of jewelry was stolen, including her ring from her husband, Kanye West, was taken. That would happen back on this date in 2016. If we're looking at some birthdays that are going on today, here you go. Ricky Stanhouse Jr., 38. Camille Bell turns 39. John Morris, 41. Brianna Brown, 46. Tiffany Darwish turns 54. Kelly Ripa, 55. Sting, the rock singer, turned 74 today. Annie Levelis turns 76. Donna Karen turns 77. And Don McClain turns 80 today, if you're looking at those things. In some other news, if you need a day to celebrate, one of those days of the year, it's National Custodian Day, National Name Your Car Day, and International Day of Nonviolence. Yeah, those are all days that you can celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. In some other stuff, if you need a rando-ando for today, I got one of those for you. If you win the lottery, no one around me will be broke. That's for sure. I'll move to wealthy neighborhood. That's what I'm going to end up doing. That's what they said. Is that random joke or is that serious business? I'm not sure. What else? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What would you do if you were given an extra hour every day? And it can't involve work or housework. Just asking. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 55% of people say it is not important to have one of these at home anymore. What is it? A dining room. I thought somebody was going to say a phone line. I'm just saying, a phone line. So there you go. That's it. That's going to sum up our time together. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you do not, that is perfectly fine. You can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus here on Safety FM, talking about the world of safety consulting. Just kind of what we do. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of this multiverse, no doubt about that. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Thursday. Always a good time when you and I get to hang out. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Greatness happens when the person with the wild imagination collaborates with the person who knows how to get things done. Yep, that's it. That's what it sounds like. That's for sure. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of SafetyFM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of SafetyFM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of SafetyFM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact SafetyFM or Radio Big directly.
Curiosity is just too hot to handle.